It's 5:47 in the morning. Let's.
Tell me why I'm waiting for someone that couldn't give. Y'all wanna ask me what I'm doing? I'm outside hoeing. I work at hoeing. Y'all wanna know what company I work at? I work at hoeing. That's the company I work at. Hoeing. 304 shit. 304.
Oh yes, we're back with another banger. Oh yes, it's the one and only. It is I. Yes, we're back again. We're gonna break down a good topic today. Shout out to the subscribers. I know it's been a minute. I know I have not been as consistent with the videos, but here I am again with another banger for you to kind of again recalibrate your 2024 to 2025 and beyond calendar. Here yet again, we have another movement which is gonna fall flat. It's gonna fall flat on its face. So it's really this is just something you need to be aware of. You're gonna have those radicals, and you're gonna have the moderates, and then you're gonna have the ones that's gonna say, this is not gonna work. Even if you look at the beginning of this video, you see these women. They have a trend and a thread on TikTok called 304 TikTok, which is a space that I guess shows aspiring prostitutes how to, I guess, get into the game and flourish in the game. Yes, this is a real thing. I've noticed these social media platforms have revved up the sexual content, especially Instagram, to where they now have artificial intelligence running. They're pretty much AI models where they look flawless, but they're fake, but they're built like the real women who, it doesn't make sense to have, I have an AI Instagram model. But this goes to show you how sexually charged they want to keep us, because they notice they had to have correlated. If you keep men and women sexually charged and combative with one another, it's going to keep them preoccupied and docile. So now here you have another movement, and we talked about this on the New Normal podcast last night. Shout out to the New Normal podcast. If you have not liked and subscribed, please go over there and like and subscribe and watch our podcast from last night, which we discussed this in depth. I said, how many movements have there been for women in the past 10 years that have done absolutely nothing for them outside, if you want to say, a few more millionaires or entrepreneurs, that space is cultivated, okay. But it hasn't done anything collectively for the race. And they've had several movements. You can count this one, the 4B movement. You have the feminist movement. You have the Me Too movement. You have the slut walk. You have the sexual liberation. You have all of these movements which have done nothing for the culture and their their children. So they have these personalized and selfish agendas that they want men to co-sign and jump on board with, screaming out all of these inaccurate facts about women's rights. So you telling me a woman being able to get the proper medical care that is depicted or determined by the president that's in the White House? Women who have went against whatever medical treatment they're seeking, which is more so abortion. How many women have been put in jail? You have not seen any headline, any case of a woman violating the rights that they say that men are allotting to them. This is why, again, I stated this, the best way to get everything back on track, and this is going to come from the women, not the men. The men have tried time and time again. So you're going to see movements from men, but they're not going to go commercial. The ones that have went commercial have been taken down from the inside, such as the Manosphere. That entire network has went to shit because Dick Happy, well, I'm not gonna use the S word, but the Du Bois of the Manosphere. Oh, she looks good. Let's let her in. Oh, she looks good too. Yeah, she's speaking to us. Oh yeah, yes. What? And ironically, that space collapsed. because we're seeking the woman's validation too damn much. So this is just another attempt, this 4B movement again, which is going to fall flat on its face. It's a parody of the red pill in their eyes. They're going to, on one end, you're hoeing it up, begging men for money, begging for a man's attention. You're the ones that's loading TikTok and Instagram talking about how men don't approach you, how men don't court you, how men are not pursuing you anymore. You don't see men with those type of videos. And this is the secret when it comes to that. The women who are really like that and are the quality women, you're not going to find them on Instagram or TikTok making such videos because they get it in real life. They don't have to screen their resume to the world. And because these are the very same women who would call other women pick-me's, but are on Instagram and TikTok voicing their frustrations with the dating game in the dating pool, which is basically screaming, come pick me. But if you were really that thing in real life, you would not have you wouldn't have any dating problems. There's certain women that I see, I know they don't have any dating problems. So if you're constantly having dating problems, the common denominator is you, isn't it? One would like to think so. But this is, again, it's a parody. You notice these women, they love hijacking the plights of men. When men is getting a certain treatment or a certain attack, they try to hijack it and make it seem as if the men is doing it to them. As if the men are committing paternity fraud, taking women to court, putting them on child support, knowing goddamn well she's not the mother. It's a boatload of men doing that, right? But then you'll put it back on the men. Well, pick better women. Well, you should have wore rubber. That's why you don't have, you just have these conversations to gauge how delusional or how far indoctrinated some individuals are. You don't have it for understanding. You don't have it for understanding. But again, you see these women saying, I'm a 304, I'm a hoe, I'm a this. They have to come out and say this now because it's pretty much understood that's what you are anyway, based upon how you presented yourself. See, in the last couple of months, I've done a lot of thinking and inventory about myself and, my future goals and where I am right now and where I was and all of that. And my thinking was the number one thing that I saw that was flawed. My perspective in certain situations, my values. We have this blind loyalty. We have this ignorance or this set frame that we know what we're doing, when in reality, if you look at the people that we admire, their day-to-day and their practices look nothing like ours, yet they're in the position that we will hope to be in one day. So you have to take a look at your thinking and your values as far as where you are and where you want to be. And those are going to change. You're going to change. You're not going to get to where you want to be being who you are right now. You're going to have to go through a metamorphosis. Begin the 4B movement. These women are acting out because they claim men in particular. I would say I wouldn't even make this a race. This is more of a unified front from the looks of it. Is white women and other women who did not get their desired outcome, as far as Kamala Harris being the president-elect. So you see the temper tantrum and the petty response, and it's almost as if it was a natural response. You see that? It was the first response to weaponize their presence and their bodies against men because we didn't do or we don't believe in what they believe. As if they're the head. And I said this last night on the podcast. I said there is no political agenda, movement, or other that will do anything with natural selection in nature. There's no political agenda, movement that's going to put you as a woman over a man. It's not going to happen. And again, I always like to use nature. You have the black widow spider, the female and the male. The female is 5 times larger than the male, and always devours the male upon once they complete mating. It's never a reverse where the male eats the female, because nature did not intend it. It wasn't designed for it to be that way. But you have a lot of women who are angry with nature. You can look at the BBL epidemic. The Most High did not bless me with an ass like her, so I'm going to pay this man $5,000 to go make me look like her, even though I was made different. And then they unalive. Vanity unalive them, their own vanity. And these are the same women that are talking about narcissistic men. What's more narcissistic than telling God, I don't like how I look, I'm going to pay this man to make me look better so I can get some likes, and then say, I didn't do it for the men. But you go on their page, it's 100 to 1,000 photos with mostly male followers. That's why you don't listen to women that have a logical, concluded conversation. You just listen to see how much pressure you should be applying. Because women scream at you. You see these women irate on these podcasts. That is a biological response of lack of dopamine being released. Those women are screaming, I have not been dominated in quite a while. Please dominate me. They can't control it. What's in a woman has to come out. This is why you see the crazy confessions you see. How many street interviews or podcasts or whatever the case platform have you seen where these women are just telling all of their dirty secrets? Now, it may be years and years after the case, but it has to come out. There's another video circulating that I'm going to follow up on where the woman is stating she saw her husband as a simp because he accepted her with 3 kids. Women know women look at the men that they date as they look at themselves. In a lot of cases, she's going to end up with trash because she is trash. That's what she likes. That's what she comes from. That's what she's been conditioned to like. She cannot like a refined man, a man who is, elevated or has tapped into a higher state of being. She cannot identify with that. She needs the seafood boils, the chitlins, the pork chops, and the Hennessy. And the dick juice. So again, women, and this is speaking directly to you, there is no political agendas or movements that will topple the food chain. I'm sorry to tell you, there will be weak attempts. This is why this is your 6th movement. You may have got you're running in place and you're just swapping them out. You're just swapping them out. And you're wasting, and time is of the essence because you have another birthday coming up, right? So you can only run this bullshit race for so long. This is why it's going to fall flat on its face. You want the most sexualized area in the world, for the most part, to now all of a sudden we're going to practice being responsible with our bodies because of a president-elect. Now it's time that, baby, we need to stop. Yeah, we do need to stop doing that now. Yeah, make it make sense. Why did it take this for you to adopt such a creed? But again, that's just my 2 cents. I wanted to touch on the 4B movement. I am going to do a follow-up video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's the Day Master.